So by now you've probably all heard about the Critical Role death of Fresh Cut Grass, a beloved character thing on YouTube. How the fan base for Critical Role is divided over whether it was good or bad and all that good stuff. And I'm not a fan of Critical Role, but I do have to say Fresh Cut Grass is maybe one of the coolest character names ever. I got to give him credit for that. And I wanted to give you my take on it, not as clickbait, and not really about whether it was a good or a bad thing necessarily in and of itself, and not really interested in the drama surrounding it. But I am going to say, again, talking about this from the 4D perspective, which is kind of my thing, a couple of observations about this. When the character died, Matt Mercer invoked what is called the rule of cool. Even though Fresh Cut Grass didn't do enough damage to kill the bad guy, he went ahead and killed the bad guy. And that's the piece I want to pick up on, because I think Mercer, by not having the kind of 4D ethos approach to his role-playing, really kind of hurt his cause and robbed his audience and his players of what could have been a truly epic experience. You know, there was the death speech of Fresh Cut Grass, which I thought was so-so on it, to be honest. But here's the thing. If he had let that just play out as it otherwise would have, there would have been pretty much one of three outcomes. They either would have finished off the big bad guy, which would have been a great moment, or the bad guy would have finished them off. Or if you were really lucky, the last character in the party would have died killing the bad guy. And that would have been an epic moment in and of itself. But consider the other alternatives, which are, of course, far more likely. Let's say the bad guy finishes off the party, TPK, everybody dead, and the bad guy survives the encounter. Think about what a great thing that sets up in your campaign world. Those party members had friends and family. They had people who cared about them. I'm sure. I don't know any of the plot. Don't know who the bad guy was or what it was, but that doesn't matter. If the bad guy wipes these characters out, he becomes an epic villain who can be acting in your game world, who can be the inspiration for other characters to want to seek out and put down, either from just the motive of revenge to perhaps he is now even a greater threat. And that would make a great storyline and allow for some character evolution and some appropriate introspection to be role-played out during the game. Or alternatively, the bad guy could just continue to be a big bad evil guy who evolves to become even more of a bogeyman. And that's a great thing in a campaign world. Of course, if the party had managed to kill him after Fresh Cut Grass got cut down, and maybe a couple of more party members along the way, that's an epic memory, even for the players whose characters died in that encounter. And that's a chance for the characters who survived to be marked by that experience. Either way, had they been playing with a viewpoint of being in their characters and being in that moment and in that world, and things had played out the way the rules of that world dictated, you would have had a much better story arc and a much more epic outcome. For whatever reason, by letting everybody know that even though it was only 40 points of damage and the bad guy still had 80 hit points, and sorry, that's my dog in the background getting under bed, by letting everyone know that was the rule of cool, to me, that underscores or undercuts the drama of the moment, the poignancy of that death. If I were the player who was running Fresh Cut Grass as my character, I would have felt cheated by that. Dying to save your party members is a good and noble thing, but dying in vain trying to save your party members, think about the legacy that leaves. And that's just one more reason why 4D is better than the standard of role play today on the internet. Thanks for listening.